No Bloodghast in the white build seems odd. I mean, we just have plenty of other good stuff to sacrifice. I think y'all are overthinking it. Like, white is just going to be really good if we untap with it. White, we have a ton of self-mill to make whites gigantic. It gives us, like, a nice plan B. And what's good about that is, like, the plan B came up a lot in those games, especially against our 2 Dimir Frog opponents. And so having more of a plan B is nice. Isn't Tyvar decent? No, it's not. It's not. Y'all are suggesting a lot of really, really dirtily 3-mana cards. Like, Victimize is very, very fast. We have a lot of dirtle already with Overlord, Wight, and Ygra. Tyvar is not very good. It has some synergy. Hexmage Defender. Okay, let's keep this. I'm leaving the other build in the Mox field if y'all like that build more, but I'm also going to make this one. So we'd have a Ygra in the yard with Shifting Woodlands, which is nice. Still need some more types, though. I have not tested the battle. The battle could be okay. I hate that card, though. I really, really dislike it. It's just a weak card. Hexmage has just been good without it too. Like I know it seems like the weak link. It has not been playing like a weak link. So I'm just in on it for now. And here's a Hexmage to go with our Overlord. I'm actually gonna play Overlord here because it doesn't get snared or pierced. The white gets snared. Both get counterspelled, of course. Hexmage also kind of good against Frog and Murktide, which is funny. So we've drawn another one. Let me just go ahead and attack first, and then I'm gonna go. I'm probably baiting with the white because Overlord is just like, if it resolves, it's just, or if we can Hexmage it, it just doesn't die to push. It's just so hard for them to beat. So we'll bait with this. We build a Familiar too, which is good. No, I haven't done anything with goblins lately. I might, may circle back to it at some point. It's an 8/8. Probably have a push though. Is Delirium a little harder with white? It's not. I don't think it's that tough. You just have so much self-mill. I guess we don't have it right now though. 6/6 Murktide that we can maybe Hexmage. So looking for another supplier also to be able to combo kill. So let me just go ahead and if we mill a another familiar, I keep mixing them up. If we mill another familiar here, then we would be able to combo. See if they have another counter spell. It's funny how a deck that centers around food runs 0 artifacts. No. Are you asking? Is it funny? I don't know if I can confirm funny or not. I feel like it's correct, which is maybe more important than determining funny. Sheriff shot. It's not like haha funny. Yeah, it seems to not be haha funny, I agree. I think they have a Cling to Dust, which stinks. But we're going to Woodland our Overlord here, looking for another familiar to mill. But I think they have a Cling, yeah. That was definitely a Cling pause. That's okay, though. I think we want them to target one of our Overlords instead. We're not under that much pressure. I knew played Seed of Hope. You could play Seed of Hope here if you wanted. I think Salvage is mostly better for your instant speed enabler, though. Okay, so let's just see if this resolves, and if it resolves, we can go for lethal. I'm gonna go on the upkeep. I could respond to the fetch. Doesn't seem like there's much reason to respond to the fetch instead of like the surveil. Yeah, I'm just like a little worried about them being able to put a card in the yard and then go off. I don't know if this really makes sense. Let's see if the last card is a second copy of Cling to Dust. I beat a removal spell too. It has to be second Cling. Goose with the 5. Appreciate you. Welcome back. They've also already used their Shoot the Sheriff, but even if they had Shoot the Sheriff, we have an extra food here to get the loop going again. Yeah, well, this is just so good in these matchups. Okay, so let's bring in the Decays and the Endurances. Weirdly enough, I guess Wight is just so bad against the Fatal pushes, so maybe we're just do this again. Just sideboard the same way. I think that's okay to have our deck configuration be the same as it was against Dimir last time, because we won, I think, all of our sideboard games. What's the combo here? Did you see it? It was Ygra turns your familiars into food, so you can sack a familiar to return a familiar. How's the deck so far? It's been very good. We just lost a close one playing for a trophy. I might have been able to play a little bit tighter to have won. It is just showing a lot of promise. It's like grindy, resilient, fast, like much harder to interact with than Soul Trader combo. Gets to use Phyrexian Tower and Woodland more effectively than those decks too, for whatever that's worth. Okay, let's keep this. I'm going to put back the Salvage so I can keep my Hexmage Overlord combo. Although Salvage hitting my 3rd land could be good. We have 24 lands though, so it's probably not like so bad. Yeah, there's a land. I'm going to go to get basic Swamp just in case they have Harbinger. Yeah, Ygra is an actual creature, not a weird. Yes, not a weird card or deck name. I always try to have my deck names be very as clear as possible. How's Buried Alive been? We cut them. They were okay, but I kept like they were very bad against Kozilek's Command, counter spells. I think they're better against Energy, which is what I was playing against a bit more over the weekend. I don't know why they would discard something here, but I kind of want to give them the window. I don't know. Doesn't really make any sense. Okay, Bowmaster my cat. That is fine. So let's get this Overlord down, which can return just my Cauldron Familiar. A little less than ideal, I guess. It's fine, though. The Overlord being in play with the Hexmage in hand is the real prize. Plus, we get to keep our food instead of using it to get back Familiar, maybe. Just wondering for play patterns in this deck. Does a Meat Hook in play cancel out the cat combo, essentially? I think you can you respond? You might be able to respond to the triggers. Are going to play 2 Bowmasters here, which is very fine, because we'll just get to Overlord here, I think. Maybe we Rumble first, try to find a land. It's not like they have no pressure against us either. Let's see what we draw. We draw a Ygra. Let's Rumble first. And unfortunately, we don't find a black land for the Hexmage. Kind of a speed bump, I guess. Potentially took the wrong line. Two cards in their hand. Oh, they're playing the, what do you call these? The Duskborn lands? Is there a name for them? I'm a big hater of Battle for Ikora, yeah, but you could put it in the deck. At the moment, it doesn't feel like Hexmage needs more synergy. I wonder if it's better to Ygra instead, just to be more mana efficient against an opponent who probably has a counterspell up. Okay. So I'm probably chumping the 3/3 with my spawn and trading a familiar for a Bowmaster next turn. Well, maybe I should surveil first, because if I see a land on top, That line seems worse. It's because I'll want to be able to play both. So let's just see what we're drawing so we can make the best choice. Surveil lands are so broken. Another Overlord. Pretty slow, but like keeping a slow grindy card here I think makes sense. So I'm just gonna, and then I can maybe just like get back Goose and then like bring back Familiar again. So let me block here, because I'm not gonna need this extra mana, I think. Four Murktide, not the scariest. So let's see if they counter this, and then we'll just get Goose back if they don't. But now we can we, I guess we can attack pretty comfortably. Because they would have already used a counterspell, and like getting a Goose back is just gonna stabilize pretty hard, and then of course we're interested in just having a more stable board. We did mill another Familiar also, which means that if my Ygra resolves, we're going to win. And, like, if somehow they've saved a counterspell for the Goose, like, we lose to them, like, having sandbagged a counterspell for the Goose, but it just seems so unlikely, like, that they would let the Hexmage resolve and then save a counter for the Goose, and now we don't die to removal spell because we can use the food to get back Cauldron Familiar, go to 9, block here. I guess 9 also just does it by itself. I think we have all four Familiars in the yard. Maybe I should have got Hexmage back. All right, they have no cards in their hand. We go to. I guess we lose to Bowmaster. Bowmaster kills my cat and then puts me to 0 exactly. Okay, so they're getting in. We block here. Take 5 down to 4. 1 card in their hand. 1 card in their hand. So obviously playing a Ygra is just a win. Let's just attack. We could mill another Ygra. We have 4 looks, and then we can just woodland it. And that would make things significantly easier. Now, we don't have that luxury afforded to us here, but we do have 2 geese. Potentially 3 geese? Yeah, just 3 geese is probably going to be good. Actually puts them to 1 life, because I have 3 Familiars in the yard. Copy Hexmage might have also won. Yeah, it just like, what I like about this line is like, I just get to put 3 stabilizers into play. And it seems like this is so impossible to win versus like if I just do one thing and my opponent has if I do that and they have a cling or they have a sink into the stupor, I lose. It just seems like I don't know how they're beating this. Toxic Deluge X equals 2. Not a problem. In fact, they are just dead to my Cauldron Familiars now. Nice. 5-1 in the day, beating Dimir Frog all 3 times. Deck is looking pretty nice. Hey, let's go. So we won the die roll in the new matchup. Sorry for the delay, opponent. Let's keep this 7. Now I think I want to lead on Gilded Goose. What's his deck's plan versus Kozak's command? I mean, we lost to it last time. Listen, this deck is not good against Graveyard Hate. No, you can win against it sometimes. Wait, there's no like. I don't have an answer for you. We're not playing Ground Seal in our deck, I think. We have against the Kozak's command decks. We have a bunch of Fulminators that we're going to come in and try to blow up their lands. Return the Fulminators. Okay, so we are on the play against Tron variant. If we mill 3 creatures off of a Stitcher Supplier, we play around Dismember. I think I'm just okay to use the Goose here and not really so much trying to play around Dismember though. Yeah, you can play through Graveyard Hate. We won with a Tormod's Crypt trigger on the stack earlier. Graveyard Hate is good against us. It's going to be good against us. Don't need to worry that much. All right, love to see a turn 2 Ancient Stirrings. Opponent grabs a Chromatic Star. I don't see too many of those anymore. More traditional Tron, it seems. So nice to have our Boseiju. And good chance we're just playing second Wight this turn. We're going to mill 3. We did mill a Ygra. I'm going to grab a Shifting Woodland. Hit my opponent for 8. Yeah, I just cast this, I guess, and attack them for lethal next turn, probably. Sorry, I did not mean to click on the Boseiju. That was an error. That being said, they didn't go Labyrinth Ring. Should be pretty fine. Is there a backup plan if we can't answer Graveyard Hate, or just playing a mid-range plan? Yeah, you attack your opponent, and you have some answer. You have answers for Graveyard Hate in the sideboard too. It's not all that complicated, y'all. Wow. So I might get rewarded for playing my land. I have lethal if I draw a land now. Okay. Toxic Deluge Tron. They had to do X equals 8, and very funny. We just get very rewarded for our misclick here. Oh, I don't have Delirium. Okay. That being said, we do have a Ygra and a Supplier or a Familiar in the yard. Okay, we still win. Still win this game. I guess I could have, maybe it was better to dump the Familiar. And after some debate on what our best flex spot was, we get immediately paid off for Victimize over all of the other cards y'all suggested. And you know what? Like, kind of compared to like Soul Trader combo, which is like similarly weak to Graveyard Hate, we just have like 5 mana Tintins. You know, we've got Overlords and stuff. We have a lot. I think our sideboard plans are pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna bring in our Fulminator Mages. Then we probably want some number of Mite, Abrupt Decay to beat up on their hate cards. Now I think Mite is gonna be better than Decay because I don't think they're playing Chalice if they're playing Chromatic Star. So let's bring these in. I'm going to cut the Victimize. The Whites were pretty good that game. They can be kind of slow, especially on the draw, though. I think I want 1 Damping Sphere. Overlord plus Fulminator Mage is pretty good. I don't exactly want to lose that synergy in my sideboarding. Yeah, Damping Sphere is more for Titan and Storm, but you can bring in some number against these decks. Just trying to figure out what the plan overall is. I actually think on the draw I want to cut the White of the Reliquaries. I might want to bring them back in on the play, but I don't think we're going to have a successful beatdown plan with them that often on the draw. So let's try this build. Our first league had 3 Victimizes, and we are down, right? Our first build today had 3 Bear to Life, 3 Victimize. We're playing Whites instead. Obviously, they're like there's just like a core of the deck with like 7 to 10 flex spots, and we're still figuring it out. I think we get rid of Hexmage here. I don't think so. It has extra utility killing Karn. It is very good to Hexmage and Overlord with a Fulminator plan. I don't know. People. Oh, so this is 59. Okay, I guess I'm even just gonna get this back in there. I think people are overly hating on Hexmage. It's just been very good, and I've been liking it. Slow hand on the draw, but one with a lot of combo potential. Could potentially turn 3. Let's go ahead and keep. I do think Damping Sphere is better on the play, because it's like easier to complement Damping Sphere plus like Creature Beatdown on the play. 3 cards into the Exile Zone, a Star, a Temple, and a Boseiju. They play an Urza's Tower. Interesting, they're playing Star and Eldrazi Temple. Wasn't exactly sure if they were on that. I mill a Hexmage, a Mortuary, and a Tomb, so only 1 Surveil land left. There's a Talisman. I'm probably just gonna kill the Talisman. Oh well, I guess I might. Thoughtseize and Toxic Deluge and Tron, very very creative. Thoughts on Witherbloom over to Abrupt Decay. Command kills most of the same lock pieces. Well, it doesn't kill the creature-based lock pieces. I just want to bring it in against Boros, and if they have a creature-based graveyard hate card, like Containment Priest, I can kill it. I can also kill her. So for me, that seems to be the most important thing. Yeah, Hexmage is for impending counters, and they've been pretty good. Yeah, it kills Dothies too. Like, Witherbloom Command would be a better main deck card than a sideboard card. Nattytron, they have a Devourer at the very least as a payoff. We may have to get this one in game 3. Seems like they have multiple choices. I mean, if they go like Devourer and then we like top deck a Fulminator, we're doing okay. Why have people moved away from Nature's Claim in sideboard? Well, I'm not playing a card like Nature's Claim, although I guess I'm playing a card like it. But I'm not playing Nature's Claim. Like, Might is better because it gets hit off Rumble, Grisly Salvage, Overlord. It's better than Nature's Claim for that reason. And then this is also a deck that... okay, I didn't play to draw a Hexmage for Karn very well if they target this. And then Abrupt Decay hits creatures and as lock pieces, which is pretty important at the moment. Let's go to game 3 on the play. And it's just so tough to bring Damping Spheres against the Talismans. We could consider playing Wights again on the play. They are a lot better on the play. Try something like this. Yeah, I probably just want more Overlords to buy back Fulminator, though. Not sure. I mean, I don't like cutting this many Hexmages, honestly, but it seems okay. We can keep this one on the play. A lot of good dig potential. Very good chance to just have a Fulminator Mage on turn 3. Alright, we're surveilling. Graveyard, Basic Forest. Eldrazi Temple. So we'll take the Damping Sphere, I guess, and then we probably go Rumble into Sphere next turn. If they had Command, they could have considered exiling this, drawing a card. I've done that a few times. It is something that people miss sometimes. Here comes a Talisman. With the Thoughtseize, they may just take the Damping Sphere without much care. Seems like they're taking their time, which is always recommended. Could I run a single Invasion of Ikoria? I hate that card. I really do not recommend playing it. I think it is quite bad. I understand why you want to play it. Getting Ygra for 7 mana seems pretty unrealistic, too. I don't really mind if they take my Ygra. They take the Sphere. So... let's see what we top deck. We top deck a Grisly Salvage. So I'm going to cast Rumble, because if I find a Fulminator, I can cast that. Don't find a lot. I guess I'm taking Boseiju. Winder Endures. I suppose we're just passing with these up. You play Commander 2? Not much. I used to play a ton. I still have a couple decks. I don't play as much as I used to. Or barely at all. Overall, I think the idea of categorizing Commander decks into different brackets sounds nice, because for me, Commander has always been a place to play cards that you like at different power levels. And I think that you want to play high power level cards casually, just like Cube is a way to do that in Limited, and Commander is a good way to do that in Constructed. And I think I like the idea of bracketing Commander into different power levels more so than bracketing it into competitive and not competitive, because a real CEDH, in my opinion, would have a much more managed ban list without as many fast mana intuitors. Spike, you'd have to say I don't play Commander, just say I sometimes do to keep the viewers interested. I don't know. I want to be a little transparent, because I do like Commander, and I wish I played more, but I just, I've played at like 2 to 5 games in the last year, so it's just like, for Commander, I'm just not someone that you want to be getting big Commander opinions from, probably. But it's I think we have a lot of new Commander players here asking, so I also want to just say my experience with the format. Yeah, but the growth. Yeah, I play all the time actually. I feel like tutors and fast mana are so integral to CEDH identity. Without those, it would be mid-range soup. Maybe. But right now it's probably combo soup, right? And I like the game. The games are just very lopsided. If you want a balanced competitive format to a big extent, an environment where people just can't combo so effectively is probably the environment you'd rather cultivate, right? I'm gonna cast the salvage here. Like it's just like you want your competitive formats to be more balanced, and it's okay for casual formats to be less balanced and more. So I guess we take second Ygra here, and then if our opponent is playing correctly, they'll take my Supplier. So my Familiar. I don't know why I just keep mixing up the 1-drops today. Okay, so that seems to be a mistake. Now, I would need to draw like Gilded Goose to be able to combo here, right? But at the very least, my Commander hot take, if you want to get any Commander insight from me, I think it is good for Commander to be a casual environment to play high power level cards. I think casual environments for high power level cards is good. Oh, I messed up. I should have just left my Ygra in the graveyard, right? Wait, they messed up too. They made 0. They could have just drawn a card for free. You can draw your card here. Okay, so everybody's messing up. So I'm gonna play my Cauldron Familiar, and then I would prefer to not Boseiju because I kind of need. Yeah, I do need land number 5. So let's pass. Was it Mill Ygra potentially game winning here? Yeah, I delay probably, but yeah, maybe I should have left it in the yard for the woodland. I think that was probably better. All day I've been rooting for my opponent to tap out for the ring. I think maybe we've seen 1 ring cast or something like that. Is this a Devourer? They're making spawns. Oh, sorry, I should have copied my Damping Sphere before this resolved. So now they can't double spell me. Guess I'll just do that now. So Gilded Goose is a win. Stitch your Supplier. Because I need another creature in play for when I start my loop-de-doop. So I guess I should play this, because if I mill a Ygra... If I mill a Ygra, we win. I guess the problem with the... No, I can just woodland to copy a creature the following turn. I have to mill it in the first half, because I need to sack the Supplier. Okay, not quite that lucky. Thanks, Hookjaw. Yeah, this deck's been really nice so far. Been enjoying working on it. I'm giving them a lot of food. But yeah, I think if we had just milled our Ygra earlier, we could have won. For some reason, I just didn't even think about doing that with my woodland in play. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, Tino. My Commander hot take is that everyone is so focused on the broken cards being part of the identity, when in reality, the identity of Commander is more so to do with building decks and having fun in ways that constructed competitive Magic wouldn't necessarily enable. It's fine to want broken cards, but turns into a bit of a sacred cow argument when we conflate our desire for broken cards with them being integral to the identity of the format. Well, I mean, I think that for me, I just am feeling like this take is saying is good for this bracketed system where some people want to be able to have the high power level cards for this feeling, because you can't play cards like this in most formats. That's kind of the big thing, is you can't play cards of this power level of like Soul Ring, Mana Crypt, Jeweled Lotus, Demonic Tutor in most formats. And it like that dynamic is really fun but I agree that I think that this bracketed system is going to work really well. As someone who it has me more interested in like engaging with Commander than I have in a long time. I'll say that. So they wisely main face pop. Probably cooked here. Okay, well, I have a 6/6. I'm going to block. I think that might have been unintentional. Okay. Let's get ready to rumble. So we've milled one of our necessary Cauldron Familiars. We still need another one. I'm just going to take an Overlord for now, I suppose. And then I only have one Cauldron Familiar left in the deck, right? Oh, sorry. I still have two. So 2 and 22 chance to hit here, I suppose. And then I can also, in theory, Overlord still. Okay, so let's take... Yeah, let's take the Supplier. And then I want a Supplier instead of Overlord first, because I need a creature in play to start the loop. So 2 in 17. 2 exile, 1 in graveyard. I guess I only saw 1 in exile here, right? I see 1 Cauldron Familiar. Oh, there are two. I did. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't see. Sorry. Okay, so we'll make them sacrifice a spawn token and then pass to them. Yeah, I just couldn't see the other one. I don't think that changes our line, though. You can activate Familiar to dig more. Right. So I guess we do just have 3 more looks, don't we? Good to note, because I could sack. Yeah. So here, if my opponent goes devour my Ygra, we'll trigger the ward first, I guess. Oh, this looks like, yeah, okay. I thought it was Kozilek's command for a second. So ward, you sacrifice a food. You do have plenty of food, though. And then we have a 3 in 14 chance at winning now. Big money. Okay, not lucky enough. Do I have a Ygra in the yard? Yeah, no Ygra in the yard either. I have how many left in the deck? 1 in exile, 2 in exile, none in the yard, so there's still 1 in the deck. Just that sucks because you want to have a single card in a bracket, your deck that's automatically classified as that bracket. IDK, I'm hesitant working it out, and hesitant that WotC can put the format first before profits. Well, maybe, I don't know. I think you are right that we won't be able to judge this new bracket system until we see everything. I tend to have like a kind of a naive outlook when it comes to the whole wizard profits thing. And like, I think my naive outlook is correct that if the format is good, if Commander is a good format, then it's in Wizards' best interest. Like that correlates the most to profits. The format being good is the best long-term profit plan for Wizards. The format being good and fun and interesting and giving space for people to engage in. That is the best way for Wizards to make money on a format, is for it to be good. I think it's a little bit naive. I agree that they do things outside of just making the game good. But that's also my position on what they should do. You know, my position on what they should do to make the most money and to make everyone the most happy is to make the game as good as possible. Okay, my opponent gets a coding here. It's an interesting choice. So I could copy this woodland. I could copy a Wight of the Reliquary. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I could attack the card and make them chump block with the Devourer. Let's just take a draw step instead, I think. Now I've drawn a Wight of the Reliquary. I think what I just need to do is just play out a Ygra. My opponent can't minus the card. Let's hope they don't have another answer, another Devourer in their hand, and then try to find our last Wight to win. Fun match. How to go at making the Troll King list. Let's take a look. Good first draft, I think. I would probably just play 0 Witches Ovens. I guess I'm a little confused why we want Cauldron Familiar Witches Oven here. I think if we're going this direction, we just cut the black and we play red, and we're playing like 4 Detectives Phoenix. We're playing maybe some Wrenn and 6, or maybe playing Scrapwork Mutt, or maybe playing Fable, all of like the red cards in these hits. I don't think that Cookbook Goose makes that much sense. Maybe playing 4 Feasting Troll Kings to start off with to try. Can you sack the cat with a card on the field? Yeah, so the cat has the activated ability from the graveyard, which does allow you to sack from the field. I know it's kind of weird. Okay, so take my Overlord. So I guess one thing I could do next turn is I could Woodland copy the Stitcher Supplier, then sack the Supplier to Familiar to bring back the Supplier to get 3 more looks at my cat. Instead, I've drawn an Overlord, so I get 4 looks instead of 3, so this seems like what I should do. So we lose to a Kozilek's command, but they've already used 2. I get to see the whole deck. Oh, you can't Overlord back Overlord. You can only get back non-avatar cards. Overlord rebuying Supplier. Oh, I see. Nice. Yeah, that would work. I guess we would see there would still be 1 card left in our deck, though, right? Oh no, because you get the ETB. Never mind. You're right. We were deterministic here. Okay, well, I mean, my opponent has been playing very slow, but let's hope they just don't have Kozilek's command number 3, or like Dismember doesn't do anything. Nature's Claim doesn't do anything. Shucks. So now I can't combo anymore. I do have a 10-10 in play, and that's not worth nothing, but we're probably going to lose now. $12-12 in play. Hearing Swords of Plowshares is as close to as good as Fast Mana. It makes me think WotC's out of touch. Maybe I misread the article, but I thought that Swords of Plowshare was in like intro deck level, which I think makes sense. Targeted removal and Commander is just like not that good, and it seemed like an okay place to place it. Maybe I misread the article, but I thought that Swords was in like the lowest level, not the highest. Yeah, so yeah, it seems to be a little bit of a confusion there, huh? I mean, this is a lethal attacker now. This is maybe a lethal attacker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, Xaxes. No, I don't think Citadel's good. It doesn't help you combo a turn earlier because you don't get to spend the time setting up that you need to spend. Swords is running basically every CDH list. Yeah, but is it one of the better cards? It is just an efficient removal spell, but like 1-for-1 targeted removal spells are not as effective in 4-player formats, right? All right, let's go to game. Our next match. I think we could have won this one if we played tighter also, which is good news for this deck that our 2 losses today probably could have won if we played different. So on the play in the blind, I'm going to keep, not sure about this one. Tutors were in 4. I don't know. Maybe something like the Canlander point system. Maybe. We'll see. I mean, again, I'm not the one to set the tier system. That's my biggest reservation. 4 brackets will cause too much confusion or hassle for people who aren't constantly tuned to the format. Thing is, I think most Commander players are pretty tuned, and I also don't. It doesn't take that much to like. I don't know. It seems I don't think that's going to be that big a deal. And the people who just play casually with friends, they just keep doing what they've been doing, right? like either you're playing with people who care about the rules and then you learn the rules, or you're not doing that and then it doesn't matter. You don't need to learn the rules if you're just playing with your friends. Let's take a Goose, I think. I think the point system is a little bit more confusing, but it might also work. Where did I even read the article? You are the one to decide. Oh no. It's been leaked. What's the reason for like? It's just kind of like it's a good plan B card that also ramps you in a deck with a lot of 5-drops. We mostly think that the core of this deck is good, and I'm liking this deck a lot, but figuring out all the flex spots is just the main thing to figure out now. And so I think it's good to try a league with Wight, try the Victimize stuff, try our first draft the other day. Just give it a few different things to go. I'm actually gonna take the Hexmage, which is good against both Frog and Murktide. And we'll see if my opponent blocks or if they discard 4 cards here, and then I can like Hexmage the Frog down maybe. Discard 2 Force of Negations, an Indulgence, and a Push. Yeah, we have 1 Victimize in this deck. We have the last build was 3 Buried Alive, 3 Victimize. It felt like we had too many enablers, maybe with 4 Overlord, 4 Rumble, 4 Grisly Salvage, and so like having like payoffs like Wight instead, I think makes some sense, but I'm not exactly convinced. So a land to go Hexmage plus Wight would be nice. Let's try to Rumble into a land with the 5-drops in hand. Unfortunately, we hit tap land. Am I taking Goose over that, maybe? I think not taking Goose over that. Feeling a little silly, though. Loving Shifting Woodland here, though. Tonmerk, 11 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, Rumble's like the best card in all these decks. I think Cottage Blast might still be competitive, or is Modern gone too far past it with Image 3? I don't know. I mean, there's some upgrades to that shell. I can't remember if I tried to figure out like Leyline Scion with like Ugin's Lab in that deck or not. I totally meant to. But yeah, there's potential for sure. Okay, so let's go cast a Wight of the Reliquary. Cast a Hexmage. Nice to see these both resolving. No good attacks. I have a 9/9 Wight. They have 2 cards in their hand. Pass him back. We've been crushing Dimir today. You can move Frog's counters with Hexmage. Yeah, not only can I do that, if they don't give it flying, I can block, deal 2 damage to it, and then killing it by removing all the counters. Although I guess this would also, they're not going to attack into that. Discard Archon of Cruelty. Scary. They persist. Somehow less scary, because like I get to like sack here. Discard this, which makes it like a little bit cheaper. I still need to find another familiar, I guess. So they discard, put a counter. Discard, put a counter. Exile their yard. And then we shrink the Frog down to 1/2. But then they still connect, and then they flip the Tamio, which isn't the scariest. In fact, they're gonna chump block the Wight with the Archon, or they're gonna lose the Tamio instead of doing that. Okay, so this gives me 6 looks at second familiar, so I think we're definitely going to be casting that. And we found it, and my opponent has 1 card in their hand. I guess we might as well go to combat first. What's the draw to play this deck over Yawgmoth? It is just like so hard to interact with, is the big thing. Like, look at this. It's just like, I'm just going to go Woodland, Woodland win the game. There's like, they have to have like Cling to Dust here. Yeah, I mean, I think the point system could work. I'm just saying I'm not that familiar with it. And then, like, maybe kind of simply, I think this deck is pretty good against energy. We haven't played against it today. We played against it the other day. It looked pretty good. And then that's the most popular deck in the format. And I think this deck seems to be better against Yogg and Soul Trader at beating energy. You just have like you stabilize a bit easier block until you do the combo. The combo is harder for them to interact with. Okay, up a game against Dimir Archon. Very fun deck. I always like this archetype. I'm going to bring... let's just sideboard the same way we've been sideboarding against Dimir. Like, I want to cut the Wights against the Fatal Push deck. Cut the Victimize against the counter spells, but... not so sure that we want all these decays. But they have both Tamio and Frog. And then they could have, like, Nile Spell Bombs and stuff. Hearse, maybe. Yeah, we've been farming the Dimir players today. No, we lost a tough one playing for the trophy. I could have played differently. I don't know if my line was definitely worse, but it was probably a little bit worse. I made at least one small mistake. All right, let's keep this. Yeah, Shifting Woodland is really crazy. Okay, they have a Ghost Vacuum and I have Decay. So because I don't really want to surveil stuff into the yard right now, I'm just going to go ahead and play the Goose. Okay. Don't mind that push, of course. Vacuum up the Goose. Make sure to get tie bindered. Obviously, that was just like a little weird. I guess I'll get Swamp also because of Harbinger. Seems correct. I'm not gonna guess Hexmage next turn probably. I might want to, like if they played Frog, but seems like I'll just want to salvage probably. Decay is so good in Modern right now. It's awesome. I cannot remember the last time I felt like Abrupt Decay was like a good card to main deck in Modern. Gonna be graveyarding pretty aggressively here just because I have the salvage. Probably not a card you want to main deck too much. Until you face any Eldrazi deck. Dude, I'm boarding in Decay against Eldrazi decks to beat their hate cards. Okay, I'm gonna take Overlord, I think, because of the Hexmage that's in my hand. Although I probably just want to like salvage again if they're gonna just hold up mana. Although seeing this on top now, I'll just cast this and then it'll probably get countered. But then maybe I can just resolve the Ygra next turn if my Goose lives. I think that makes enough sense. Might have been bad. They discarded Delta, which is interesting because they missed a land drop. Yeah, maybe this was silly because now they're just like they ain't tapping out. You mentioned there might be too many enablers. What about Fnatic over Salvage and then maybe Archon? So I thought there were too many enablers with Victimize, Buried Alive. I think the 2-mana enablers are better, and I at the moment I feel like we have a good number. I think we could maybe play Fnatic over the Wight of the Reliquaries. That could be an option. Okay, so Deluge. Want to mill first and then just see best info for the salvage. No! Ah! The misclicks are tough. I was maybe good to resolve this Ygra, but I meant to cast this Grisly Salvage. Oops. And I also don't have my food to get back my Cauldron Familiar anymore. Looks like they're playing a Murktide, just a 7/7, only a baby. Okay, it's an interesting top deck. So now we hold the Woodland maybe? No, we should probably play it so we can like attack with a thing next turn. And then we can now attack with our Ygra because we can grow it to 8/8. Do you still think Zoo is a good deck? Thoughts to include Bowmasters? I think Zoo is a good deck. It's been putting up good results. I think that if I was going to play Zoo, I would still recommend not playing Ragavan, not playing Nikado, not playing the Showa Brawler. Those cards are weaker than cards like Guide, Pride, and Johnny Bowmasters. I'd play kind of any of those cards in those spots instead. I would play Guide, Pride, a Johnny. We've done it on stream. I thought it looked pretty good. I've been saying this for like a month. Maybe we need to do it. Maybe we need to play it again or something. I don't know. Okay, Ygra better than Murktide Regent. Yeah, Scavenger's Talon is not modern power level. It is. I think it's very far away from being good in this format. Just so slow. Is you a frog? You can play frog instead, but like the amount of like wild Nikados is pretty crazy. Let's keep this on the play. I'm going to lead on Mortuary. How many versions have I brewed to end up with this deck? I mean, not that many. At the very least, it's like we figured out the core of the deck pretty quickly. The core of the deck is at least for me, I'm like pretty far away from cutting any of these cards. I'm also very much liking Overlord Hexmage, and I want to keep playing this for a long time. And so maybe you play this, maybe you don't. And then like right now we kind of have this package of 6 flex cards I'm wanting to play. It was 3 Victimize, 3 Buried Alive this morning. We lost playing for a trophy with that build. Now we're playing Wights in a Bog and 1 Victimize. Maybe there's another direction we can go. So my opponent has gone Scalding Tarn-Go. Says they're last seen playing Jeskai. I'm probably just going to play Overlord. Since if they're Jeskai, Overlord is like, it doesn't get spell snared here, and they just have a very hard time answering it in general. Like, the impending is actually pretty real the last time we played against this deck. Probably a good matchup overall if it is Jeskai. They might be on something else. I guess I'm going to grab Ygra. Don't love milling all those lands. I think I'm just going to Grisly Salvage. I don't play around Snare. Okay. Now we can just resolve this. Grab Phyrexian Tower. Nice to mill over a Cauldron Familiar. Have another one in our hand. Yeah, I think I'm actually just gonna go Goose Familiar, so I can combo if my opponent taps out for a ring next turn. And if my opponent Wrath the Skies, I can tap out for maybe Rumble plus White, maybe just White, or I'd probably try to do both. They do Wrath the Skies, and they can kill my Overlord too. Opponent plays Wrath, we win. No, we can't cast Ygra anymore. But I can go Supplier, sack Supplier to Tower, Rumble, and Wight. Looking for a Woodland over everything else. We might be able to... We might be able to just find a Woodland off of our Wight. We can win if our opponent taps out for the ring here, which is very important. Wight is also a 14/14, which is pretty dang big. All day we're like, please cast the ring. Everyone on Twitter says every deck is playing 4 rings. Please cast the ring here. If they shock in Steam Vents, they play a Flage. They target me, because if they target the spawn, I can counter the life gain. So I guess I'm just going to go attack. Put them to 2. Sack my spawn for Shifting Woodland. Woodland a Ygra to play around the counterspell in their hand, probably. Try to win the game. Now, if they had Solitude, I don't know that they would have allowed me to do all this with the Wight already, you know what I mean? If you Ygra pre-combat and they counter, it turns off their fetch lands. Well, I think this is a better line. Okay, so go into game 2 against Jeskai. Now, they don't play a lot of, like, 2-mana lock pieces, usually because of Wrath Disguise. Sometimes they have some Surgicals. Sometimes they have, like, Soul Guide Lanterns. But I don't think I'm going to play Decays. I could play Mite, which also gets the ring. Endurance against Flage seems okay. I don't think I want to change too much. I do think I probably want to cut the Geeses, which is just like 2/2/2. Yeah, Solitude is very good against Ygra because they can sack it. But there's not a lot of Solitudes in these lists. It's usually like, 0 or 1. It's maybe sometimes 2. Yeah, I think this deck is very promising too. I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah, I mean, I'm liking the Wights. I don't think that they're definitely the best thing in the slot. They still feel pretty flex spotty to me, but I'm liking them. Probably just like sleep on it for a little bit and hopefully play a tournament with this deck this weekend. Gonna keep this. They board at 1 or 2 or 3 geese. So yeah, this is my lone Gilded Goose here. I don't think it's very likely, but maybe I would play Hexmage or 2 black 1-drops next turn if I drew Supplier. So I think I'm just gonna get the Overgrown Tomb on turn 1 instead of the Forest. Pretty small sequencing thing. You need 2 cats with your Ygra, but it's a win. It's a win that's very hard to disrupt. Yeah, so yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Now that I did draw the black card, I think this is what I want to do. Do you think a Yawgmoth build with more graveyard focus rather than Convoke could be viable in the meta? I would play Convoke if I was playing Yawgmoth. I would play 4 Court of Callings no matter how I built my Yawgmoth deck. You can't play Say Its Name in this deck because we have no removal, so we lose to Bowmaster. We also can't leverage the 9/9 that well. It's also there's like a diminishing returns to how many like 2-mana mill cards you can play effectively. Yeah, let me get Overlord down here, I think, over just playing very scared with the Endurance. And then I guess I'm gonna play scared and grab another Endurance. Seems okay. Yeah, the Say Its Name plan is good in the Jund Delirium deck. I think it's just not optimal here. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna hold up mana now. No way to cheat the Ygra. We have 1 Victimize, 4 Shifting Woodland. But we also just have 4 Phyrexian Tower and like Gilded Goose. You just cast it pretty often. Sure. I'm gonna go ahead and just try to resolve an Endurance now. I stole 2 for 1 off the Overlord. And if they play Ring, we have a Mite, which is nice. Mite plus Salvage. Finally, somebody played the Ring against us. Although we can't untap and combo this time. Maybe I should have Mited first to play around Subtlety. I'm going to grab Shifting Woodland, though, so now I actually beat Subtlety because I just have second Mite. I also have to use the restroom. Maybe a few minutes. BRB. All right, that was a bit of a false start. We may have to do round 2. Play patterns, am I right? So if they like counter this, we can Overlord it back with like a Ceremonious Rejection. Yeah, a bit of a false start there. Okay, so Snare, gonna put this back on top and then Overlord into it. Be kind of sad if I see a Hexmage. No Hexmage to be found. Remember, kill the ring before they get to draw a card off of it. If you kill in response to the tap, they get to draw a card. You could also bottom since you had Mite in graveyard. That's true, yeah. That might have been right. Okay, not very scared of that. Didn't you have the combo? No, I don't have a Ygra anywhere. I have other Golgari cards in my yard. I have no Ygra. All right, I'm gonna get back a Familiar here. Well, that didn't work out. Guess I'll think about that some more next time. Maybe this is a good reason to keep the geese in, to play around surgicals better. Keep more geese in. That being said, okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so we'll just copy the Wight of the Reliquary. And sack the Supplier also. Just attacking for lethal. I guess I don't need to do anything besides just go to damage right now. All right, yeah, the Wights for plan B against Surgical makes some sense too. Okay, so we 4-0'd the first league. We made some small missteps at the end of that match. Maybe could have trophied. We probably could have won the match we lost to. More so a review of the deck. I think it's good to note that kind of stuff. But let's get a back-to-back 4-1 prediction. Very exciting list. Okay, let's keep this. I think I'm 7-1. I'm 7-2 on the day. I lost my trophy match last round, and then I lost one here. Kind of makes me think the Buried Alive stuff was holding me back. I mean, I do think it was kind of weak. I was, when I was testing it over the weekend, I liked it a lot against Energy, but the Energy matchup is probably just good, so maybe we don't need it, is what I'm thinking at the moment. Not sure. I do know that my opponent has kept 7. They didn't reveal a companion. They've played a Boseiju and a Delighted Halfling. Interesting stuff. I think I'm going to salvage first, and that'll kind of inform if I want to cast a Supplier, potentially. Yeah, I think I want to take Phyrexian Tower. Take Phyrexian Tower, and then there's a chance I would just want to cast Ygra next turn by sacking the Goose. probably won't want to, but let's just give ourselves the option. Have I qualified for any regional championship? I haven't been playing. I haven't played an RCQ in like 6 months, maybe longer even. Okay, they have a second land. So yeah, I mean, I'm certainly open to playing in some, but I've just been doing so many other things on my weekends, and I've been happy to prioritize some other stuff. Working on game design, working on writing, working on reading, working out, just doing a lot of other stuff. Okay, there's our first Cauldron Familiar. I guess we might as well just make a food now. Don't you want to play a couple of vision? That card is just not. That card is very weak. It is very weak. I know it has synergy with Hexmage. Hexmage has not seemed like it needs other cards. I could be wrong. I thought that package was weak pre MH3. I can't imagine that it's somehow very good post MH3. It's very slow. It's not a good combo tutor. I could be totally wrong. We should probably test it. We should probably test it over like the whites. But I'm just a big longtime hater of that card. All right, come on. Cauldron Familiar. Oh, they target a goose, so they're just going to double Bowmaster. All right, so we're going to take the hit. So we'll see if we find another familiar, which we don't, but because we milled a Ygra, we still have enough. We could mill another familiar in combo right now. Okay, also failed to do that. So do I ever want to copy anything with Woodland this turn? I don't think so. So I think I'm just going to surveil. Oh, Llanowar Reborn is weird. Cycles Unearth, so they're green-black soul trader, not Yawgmoth probably, if they're playing Unearth. Make the Ygra, sack the Supplier to cat, mill 3 more. Yeah, I guess that was probably the line, huh? Alright, still missing familiar number 2. Is in this Broodscale combo? I guess, yeah, I guess it's Matt's list. I forgot about the Llanowar Reborn, right? Or was he playing it? Oh, I milled my other Surveil land just now. So maybe I should have got it response to the mill. So do I just cast a Ygra here? Casting Ygra seems fine. And then next turn I can like Woodland copy Supplier and sack it and stuff maybe. If someone wants to link Matt's list, I'll pull it up because his deck is really cool. Kind of wanted to talk about it. Matt is always like such a great combo deck builder. Cycles another Unearth. Untaps 2 fresh cards in hand. How do you sideboard against Ruby? I mean, you bring in the Damping Spheres and you probably just cut the whites. A little, maybe more nuanced. Maybe you want to play less Hex Mages or whatever, but something along those lines. Rumbles into Broodscale or Tower of Boseiju. They choose Broodscale, not very surprising. The other card is a Delighted Halfling. No Abrupt Decays or Endurances. Me, I have... Oh, in that matchup. I don't know. I'm playing this match. But yeah, you could bring those in. I'm not going to be able to give you a full sideboard plan right now. Mid-game here. I have not played the matchup yet. Yeah, so this was Matt Nass's Broodscale combo deck. He wanted an RCQ with it. Very cool. Very in on Blade of the Bloodchief, not only with Basking Broodscale, but also with Evolution Witness. Plus Walking Ballista, plus Blade is infinite power. Very in on Earth. Just super cool list. Okay, so let's get ready to rumble. Still missing Should I ever bog them? I don't think so. Still missing a second Cauldron Familiar with only 19 cards left in the deck. I guess I tapped bad because now I can't Woodland copy. Oh, I don't even have any Overlords in the yard either. Oh. Well, I'm going to go Woodland copy Supplier for 3 more looks. We have 3 and 19 chance at comboing. Missed on our 3 and 19 chance. I think I'm not going to attack. Your turn. Copy Supplier digs 6 more. Only digs 3 more, right? Thankfully, their deck is not doing anything. Yes, you need access to 2 cats. One of them has to be at the grave. Kind of missing the Buried Alives, I guess. But we did mill an Overlord, so now we have at least 4 more looks. So 4 4 looks at 3 outs and 15 cards is quite likely. I could also hit another. I could also buy back a Supplier. Yeah, I get to see 10 cards in my deck here, so it should be like close to impossible to brick. Yeah, there's another Cauldron Familiar. I am just going to go ahead and grab a Supplier, which I could play and sack for 6 more looks. But this they have no cards in their hand. We'll just win the game. Wait. Okay, I misread. I thought that I saw this one go to the yard and I thought that we were cooking, but no, sorry. We still need to find another familiar. I thought the one that we just sent to the yard I thought was the new one. That's okay. We have 6 looks at 3 outs at 11 cards. They would have to all be in the 3 of them would have to be in the bottom 5. Okay, we have 3 looks. No, I sacked the wrong thing. Oh my gosh. Okay, the good news is we still can't lose, but sorry, I missed the wrong creature here. Oh wait, I can still win. I can still sack the Supplier. Sorry, I can still sack here though, just in case. But we also just have 2 blockers, right? Wait, what is this? A Ballista? I'm just gonna go for this real quick. Come on. Okay, we got there. So lucky. Oof. 5 cards left in our deck. Oh. And then I guess I auto yielded too much. I thought I still had a window to do something here. It's okay. They're dead. Still have sideboard games to do. How about those commander changes, huh? Wizards of the Coast, Rules Committee, brackets, tiers. Will they unban Mana Crypt and Jeweled Lotus? Almost definitely. You know, I told Esther the other day that Commander was a format that wasn't managed by Wizards of the Coast, and she was shocked. She was like, what the heck? How do you sacrifice it? Yeah. But I'm just confused the whole time. Pioneer combo in Modern sometimes gets people. You know, Modern is pretty fun right now, Commander players. If any of y'all are still here. So in the sideboard, there's 2 Endurance, 1 Nile Spellbomb, 1 Pithing Needle, 1 Might, 2nd Cauldron. Oh, wait. Oh, I thought Cauldron was in the main of Matt's list. I mean, I remember Matt, the actual deck list Matt posted was really just like, it. I need to find it. I need to find that first tweet. It was so funny. Maybe I'm missing it. I thought he just tweeted like an arena screenshot. Oh, this is what it said. Not exactly this deck, but the ballpark. No lands, no sideboard. It was just so funny. No Urza Sagas. Obviously not a big deal. I just thought it was funny. Let's got the Victimize. These whites seem like they're gonna have a hard time getting through blockers. Oh, dude, Hexmages are so good against them. You can Hexmage to remove all the counters. Maybe it's not so good, but it's got like a funny degree of relevancy. Let's sideboard like. I guess the white for Bog is pretty good. Maybe we should cut the Hexmage Overlord combo. Despite Hexmage having some funny relevancy, white being able to get Bog at instant speed against them seems kind of good against the Unearths. Always tough to sideboard with the new deck. This hand looks functional. Yeah, Hexmage is just for Overlord, and it's been I think a pretty good plan. I've liked it so far. Yeah, then Overlord rebuys the Hexmage. Hexmage has like a shocking degree of applications, getting rid of Chalice to the Void, getting rid of Karn, getting rid of Murktide, beating or trading with Frog in combat, killing a Johnny. Just kind of like shockingly good. Probably like there's also like, you know, some people are playing Flytrap. Collar, huh? So I think I'm just going to go Surveil and then play a white. I think I'm going to not keep a tower. Wouldn't hate a tower, though. We can get one off of the white if we really want to, probably. Surprised I'm not playing Heliod Ballista with Collar. I think Heliod's pretty awful at the moment. Collar's probably like a sideboard plan, I would guess, if anything. Just thinking about, for some reason I thought they could Endurance here, but of course they can't. I think we're just going to go cast Haywire Mite with Grisly Salvage / Mite activation available. And then we'll probably sack Gilded Goose for a Phyrexian Tower or Surveil Land end of turn. Lol, Random Farmer, thank you for the tier 1. Welcome, welcome. So this is fine. They can name Haywire Mite, which I think would be okay with me. And they can name White, but then I can just Mite the Needle if they do that. Yeah, they do name Haywire Mite. They probably have their own, or I mean, maybe they don't have any post-board against me. But now I can just sack the Mite. I do have Abrupt Decays in the deck too. There's a Blade of the Blood Chief. 2 cards in their hand. Let's salvage first. I'll see if I want to get a Surveil Land or a Tower from this. We do mill a Cauldron Familiar. Do I want to put that in my hand because of the Nile Spellbomb? I think I'm just going to grab a Verdant Catacombs instead. Seems like they're thinking about their Nile Spellbomb. I forgot that was symmetrical. Or that is symmetrical, I should say. I'm going to grab a tower. And then now I have the ability to activate Goose to get back my Familiar. So let's just get ready to rumble. Grab Boseiju. Not so bad. Oh, sorry. Got to resolve this graft trigger first, I guess. I'm going to play another Haywire Mite or Haywire Mite again, I guess. Resolve this graft trigger. And get in for 4. Opponent is down to 12. Will they do anything end of turn? I don't mind no being the answer to that question. 3 cards in their hand now. Could maybe be better to Boseiju the Needle and unlike the Mites, because we get like Woodland Mite, but the Goose, the other cards I think are just a bit more relevant. Oh, I guess I milled over my other Mortuary, huh? So we'll just get an Overgrown Tomb. It's okay. I'm not going to activate the Goose because they'll respond with the Spell Bomb at this point, I think. So the plan is to attack first so I can hit for the most damage. Will they put their counter on the Endurance here? It's kind of an interesting question. They say no. Oh, whoops. I meant to just sack my Cauldron Familiar. Bit awkward there. But now I can Surveil because I got my land shuffled back in, which is fun. Maybe I should have sacked the spawn, but I'm thinking I might want to cast Ygra off the spawn if I like my top card, which I do. Yeah, so we can cast Ygra off the spawn, and then if I need to Boseiju, I can. But at the cost of shuffling away the Rumble. Yeah, if I surveilled the creature in the yard there too, we get to keep the Wight alive, which would have been cool. Playing Wight makes you want to have some reverse Sagas and Ovens. Saga's so bad with Wight. Just have this like colorless land in your green-black creature deck. So they're probably going to graft here, right? They're going to go graft, equip Collar onto Ballista, ping the Ygra, sacrifice the Endurance. I mean, I just have like double Woodland for the Ygra too. And the thing is, I really want to draw my Rumble. So I let them sack the Endurance, then they have 1 counter on the Ballista. I see the line. I mean, is the line just Boseiju the Ballista or the Collar? Because I kind of think I think I just need to draw this Rumble so badly that, and I have Woodland to like, yeah, and like I don't necessarily have Delirium, but oh, the Spell Bomb, fuck, I forget about the Spell Bomb. Don't they Ballista me? Yeah, I know. We're not dead. We just are still playing the game. I kind of think the 6/6 is just gonna be good enough. It was gonna get bigger too. So now I can Boseiju the Collar, which makes them. Oh wait, yeah, no. If I just Boseiju the Collar, and then they can't kill the Ygra in response because it gets countered, and then yeah, never mind. This just beats this, right? I Boseiju here, and then if they Ballista my Ygra in response, it just gets countered due to ward, and so it just no longer has lifelink death touch anymore. So I do lose my Rumble, but I guess this has just got to be the right line. Have I tried any Oculus spells? No, I haven't got around to it. I've just been so focused on like this Delirium stuff, but there's a lot of good Oculus stuff to do. I like Edgar's list a lot. It seems like something I might explore some, but also there's a good chance Edgar's list is just like pretty optimal and I don't need to spend a lot of time on it if Edgar's just like solved it on first go. Or maybe not first go, but early go. Okay, so I'm going to sack the Supplier. I'm going to copy the Woodlands, or a Wight with a Woodlands, I think. We might, maybe Overlord will be better if we mill an Overlord or something. Sack here so that yeah, I can go cast this, activate here, forcing at least one block. Oh, right, the spell bomb. Sure. Still forcing a block. Why removing the Caller from Ballista cancels Death Touch on Ballista Ping? Angel, Wrath Kicker still have lifelink when you kill it. Oh, because Angel just has lifelink on it, right? On the card. Ballista has lifelink while Caller is equipped. If you kill the Caller, it no longer has lifelink. Death Touch, right? Hope that makes sense. Okay, 2 cards in their hand. One of them is just a Verdant Catacombs. Another one is a Basking Brood-Scale. So this is going to allow them to make an infinite power creature. And have infinite blockers. But our Ygra is also infinite power. Oh, right. I forgot about the infinite mana. Yeah, infinite mana just came with Ballista. Right, okay. So we lose this game. We go to game 3 on the play. And I boarded out the Overlords. Let's try this again. I'm not sure. Maybe the endurances are not so good. Oh, too late. Yeah, maybe I think the endurances are probably a weak link. I don't even know if they have left in their unearths or anything. I'm pretty sure if they could have pinged your face in response to Boseiju and Ygra would still die. Oh, because then it had last known information of having lifelink and it just died. Interesting. Yeah, I agree the Hexmages have like a lot of utility. I mean, they're not actually like that good against the Brood Scale combo though, is the thing. I don't know. Maybe we should have kept that too. I want to find a cheap creature to sack to the Wight if possible. Should we have been more aggressive and killed the spell bomb with their needle on the stack? I don't know. I think we played okay that game. I don't feel too bad about how we played that. Triple Delighted Halfling. Alright, so let me attack. Amy, thanks for the raid. Hope you're doing well today. Welcome, everybody. We're actually playing a card y'all might be familiar with, Ygra, Eater of All in Modern. It's not something I've really played much in Modern with before, but it's been pretty nice recently. I guess I'm a little bit too scared about getting combo. We're playing against Matt Nass's Brood Scale combo deck. So let's just hold up Salvage / Decay and then figure it out. It'd be fun to maybe like evoke Endurance and then sack it to the Wight to get a land. Is Overlord Hexmage a requirement for the deck? I want to play Overlord. It's like 40 tickets. It's pretty good. I would definitely like recommend it, but I would say that it certainly doesn't feel like a mandatory include, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna Grisly Salvage. Not sure about this. The Supplier like is good to sack to the Wight, makes the Wight really large and in charge. So I'm gonna have to Mite the Cauldron, not the Blade. Lest I give I guess I don't sorry, this is not a matchup where giving them Blade matters all that much. Alright, then I'm going to try to just deal them a bunch of damage. Yeah, you really need to be a lot better at making food if you play Troll King, which is just a very different deck. Okay, didn't exactly grow this very much. So now if I graveyard this Cauldron Familiar, I'm exposing the Familiar to the Cauldron. I think I'm just going to keep it on top. It's okay, one to just play and sack. Yeah, but if they play a Brood Scale, then I can Mite the Blade and then Decay the Cauldron. I think that's okay. My opponent takes 4, going down to 11. Then they play Brood Scale. So I need to respond to the equip, otherwise my opponent could... they could go exile the Haywire Mite with Cauldron, put a counter on Brood Scale, start the loop in response to my activation. If they have another Blade of the Blood Scale, yeah, oh no. So now they have infinite mana, infinite power. Yeah, the Hexmages have been good. I'm not really wanting to cut them or the Overlords. Yeah, I had Bloodghast as one of Buried Alive target. Bloodghast is like just so bad to draw. I'm not really like dying to have more Bloodghast in the deck. But they could be okay. They're playing Matt Nass's Basking Brood Scale combo deck. Can we tell our opponent to scoop if they play one Ballista? Oh. Okay. Tough game. Fun match. Modern's been pretty good today. Modern's been pretty dang good today. So this is a funny line. I just don't block. And so they start the loop, but then I kill the Brood Scale in response, and they don't have infinite mana. Oh, but then they level me and they just hit me for 8. Funny situation. Okay. Alright, I yield. Fun match. I guess Matt's deck is the better Golgari creature combo deck. Went 7-3 overall. Could have probably won 2 of those matches if played tighter. I don't know if we could have won this one if we played tighter. This one was head scratcher, but this deck has been looking good today. It was looking good Friday. I'm interested to keep working on it. I will need to sleep on it, do some testing off stream. Kind of simply put, I think that this package, or this is the core of the deck that I really like. I'm liking the sideboard too. I don't know about the flex spots. I don't know about Wight. I don't know about Victimize. I don't know about Bog. I don't know if Invasion is playable. I hate Invasion so much. That card is so bad, but it might be correct. It might be okay. Wights were okay. Victimize were okay. Buried Alive were okay. I kind of missed Buried Alive in this league, I'll say. So we could see some numbers changing, but like these 6 slots are still a big question mark for me. But thank you everybody for tuning in. I also Overlord has also just been very good, like shockingly good, and I want to work some more on.